I just spent 15 hours playing Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League so that you don't have to. My overall impressions of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League are that the story's great. The Rocksteady did an amazing job with the story. The writing, phenomenal. The banter between the different characters and in their environment, the dialogue just going throughout the game was fantastic.
Really? Why don't you just mail me the bullet?
Cutscenes, I think, are really the shining piece to the game itself, really. It's what really keeps the game going is, unfortunately, the cutscenes. The most cinematic parts of the game is really the thing that kept me engaged with the game the most. Outside of that, actual gameplay mechanics, I think mobility was phenomenal. I really enjoyed all the different characters. Outside of Harley Quinn, I think Harley Quinn's mobility was my least favorite out of the four. Boomerang's teleportation abilities and super fast speed like the Flash, fantastic. Deadshot's jetpack, very, very fun to use. King Shark being able to leap around kind of reminds me like the Hulk in previous Marvel games like the Avengers, being able to run on walls and jump from building to building. Very, very fun. Harley Quinn's Batman grapple system, it felt kind of like this hybridization of Spider-Man meets Batman mobility from the Arkham series without his cape to allow you to glide around, which was kind of boring, really, from a gameplay perspective. When it came to Harley, I just didn't really enjoy myself. Overall, Suicide Squad is designed to be a looter-shooter experience. It's a live game service. It's supposed to be like Destiny or the Marvel's Avengers game that unfortunately was shut down not too long ago, or Borderlands or anything like that. It's a game that feels like was designed for a dying breed, and I really feel like this game could have done well without it being a live service. It could have just lived by itself in a single-player offline mode. It could have been a lot like the Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy game that came out. This is a game that I think, unfortunately, relied too heavy on this game being an online success for it to continue to do well. And I played this game for 15 hours and I'm done. I have no want to even try to do any of the endgame activities. It just, the repeatable missions is unfortunately the worst part of the game, is the biggest part of the game. The main part of the game, which is the gameplay, being able to go from one point to the next, to level up your characters, to get drops, all that stuff, is the most boring part. I use the analogy during my live stream that it reminds me a lot of, if you were familiar with Destiny, the patrol system. This feels like all I'm doing is a bunch of different patrols between cutscenes. And maybe we get a strike here and there. I would equate the strike to being the boss fights in Suicide Squad. Fighting the Justice League members would be like a strike. And so, unfortunately, Suicide Squad, where it shines is its story and its cutscenes, and where it falls short is, and where it is most shallow is probably the biggest chunk of the game, which is the activities to do. I will say the combat, though, is very, very fun. The different types of guns you can use, all the different types of modifiers that you can change. Very fun. You can re-roll guns, you can craft guns, you can do a lot of things. You can find new recipes to then go and craft different weapons, which is fun. But again, it feels all very shallow and just not enough to make me want to go back and chase those items, because I see no reason in having those items beat the game. What's left? And I guess I can go back and I can try to get better scores and I can try to get faster run times and things like that. But for me personally, I don't see the point in doing that. There's really nothing left for me to do in this game. And that's unfortunate, because I paid $100 to get early access to this game. I wasn't sponsored. This isn't an ad. I'm doing this because I really enjoy superhero games. I grew up with the Justice League animated series on Cartoon Network. I grew up watching the animated Batman series with Mark Hamill as a Joker and Kevin Conroy as Batman. And so, like, for me, this was very exciting. I loved the Arkham series. I thought it was great. I think Arkham Knight was okay. And again, it kind of feels like it's Suicide Squad falls within the same vein, whereas like the story was good, but the gameplay and everything else was kind of shallow. And that's an unfortunate part with all these games, is that they're just, for me personally, the most frustrating part with all of this is that these hero games are really cool when it comes to the story and the writing and the action sequences within the cutscenes. But for the most part, Suicide Squad, the Avengers, Arkham Knight, all these games kind of suffer from the same problem. Now, hero games that I've really enjoyed, Spider-Man series, Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man Miles Morales, amazing games. The Guardians of the Galaxy game, Another awesome hero game. So it's just unfortunate we have a handful of really good ones and we have a handful of really bad hero games. And unfortunately, I would say when it comes to the Suicide Squad, I think what you need to do is just wait for it to come on sale. I don't think that it's worth the $70 unless you're really into like those grindy things and you just want to unlock all of those gear sets and get the best min-max weapons that you possibly can have just for the sake of having them. Then yeah, definitely go for it. Until you're blue in the face. But I don't think that there is enough right now for just the average gamer to really find the value in that $70. So for me, I still give Suicide Squad a 6 out of 10. A lot of the points that I give this is because, one, the cinematics were phenomenal. They were, honestly, if you could take all of the cinematics, I wish this was just a show. I wish you could just slam all the cinematics together and just enjoy the ride from start to finish within cutscenes, because it was great. The writing, another just 10 out of 10 experience. Whoever did the writing, they did an amazing job. It was a blast to go through. The banter between all the different characters. Harley was hilarious. Probably one of my favorite characters when it comes to her dialogue. Whoever wrote for her did an amazing job. King Shark is another one where he reminds me of Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. Everything's very literal. He's very serious, and you really start to you watch him grow throughout the game, which is awesome. Deadshot was great. Boomerang, hilarious. Please let me know if you think that Boomerang sounds like Bandit from Bluey, because that's all that I can hear is Bandit from Bluey. Overall, Suicide Squad, again, the writing, the cutscenes, the traversing with the characters, the combat, all very, very fun. The parts that really, really lack for me when it comes to Suicide Squad is the gameplay. Unfortunately, within like the things to do, the activities to do become very repetitive. You end up doing the same types of missions, defending points, protecting the payload. You do this over and over and over and over and over again, and then nothing felt unique and different outside of the boss fights. And so like that was unfortunate. So yeah, I mean, like I still kind of give this a decent score of 6 out of 10, but honestly it was because I think that the cutscenes and the writing and the overall story carry this game so heavily, which could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on how you enjoy playing video games. So there it is. I spent 15.4 hours on Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, so you don't have to.